purpose of this challenge deck is to shore up weaknesses, develop strengths, build yourself into a better person. When you find yourself craving a challenge, seek one out. This is the Daily Stoic Challenge deck. Build the discipline to think well, live well, be well. That's the essence of Stoicism. So the idea is there's one challenge. You pull a card out every day at random, and you have to do what it says. Your today's challenge is to write 3 thank you letters. As Cicero says, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. So you're supposed to take a step back, take a complete view, think about who helped make you who you are, and how can you thank them? How can you take some time to meditate on them the way that Marcus does at the beginning of meditation? Today's challenge for you is to wake up early, 1 hour earlier than you normally do. As Marcus Aurelius says to himself, on the mornings when you struggle with getting out of bed, keep this in mind: I am awakening to the work of a human being. Like, whatever your alarm clock says, move it back so tomorrow you wake up earlier than you want to wake up. And then the question is, how are we going to use this time to be productive, to be still, to be thoughtful, to be reflective? I would advise spending some time with the journal, but wake up earlier. See how wonderful it is. Today's challenge, take a cold shower. You got to grab that handle and turn it all the way to the cold side. Let that cold water hit you. As Seneca says, the body must be treated rigorously so that it may not be disobedient to the mind. Can you master the willpower to deliberately experience discomfort? I promise, as uncomfortable as it is, you will feel empowered after. Not only will you feel alive and invigorated, but you will feel empowered because you did that, and you now know that you have what it takes to do that. Today's challenge is to take a 1 hour walk. We should take wandering outdoor walks so that the mind might be nourished and refreshed by the open air and deep breathing. Get outside, get moving, get up from your desk. You have to spend out some time outside. You cannot be on your phone scrolling. Be outside, experience nature, see how it changes you. Today, you have to memorize your favorite Stoic passage. As Seneca says, we linger on the works of the master thinkers. We digest it so we can turn the words into works. As Marcus Aurelius says, that I've memorized, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. I even have it tattooed on my arm. The idea is I want you to take a passage from the Stoics, sit down, memorize it, let it wash over you, let it be turned into muscle memory. And there's something just wonderful about that. I think it's Cleanthes or Chrysippus turns in one of his books and someone jokes, but you've quoted so much of the play Medea in here that almost the entire thing is in it. And he said, this is Cleanthes' Medea. So the Stoics were great at memorizing stuff because they return to it over and over again. Marcus Aurelius quotes lines from plays that are now lost. The only surviving part is the little part that he memorized. So there's something powerful. It's a long tradition to memorize stuff. Today's challenge, make a list of everything that upsets you and burn it. Right? Marcus Aurelius talks about how the angriest, most grouchy, most upset, most driven people, where are they now? All that stuff is gone. So I want you to start your day today by clearing the backlog of crap in your life. As Marcus says, how much more harmful are the consequences of anger and grief than the circumstances that aroused it? So take a time, list all the things that are pissing you off, take that piece of paper, light it on fire, do it in a safe place, but watch it go up in smoke and remind yourself the emotions that you felt, the anger that was consuming you, it was nothing more than smoke, and then let it go. One of the most powerful parts of meditations is the beginning, where Marcus goes through all the people who have shaped him and made him who he is. He calls this debts and lessons. Well, today I want you to write down 5 role models and what they taught you. Seneca says it's not in our power to choose our parents. He says, but we can choose whose children we want to be. So who inspired you? Who's shaping you? Who is your hero? Who are you modeling yourself against? Take 20 minutes, list out these role models, but most importantly, write down the virtues that you admire in them and how that's changed and inspired you. Today's challenge, I want you to go find someone you disagree with and have a nice conversation with them. What's so cool about Seneca's letters is he quotes Epicurus more than anyone else. He says we should be able to do that. He says, I'll quote even a bad author if the line is good. The idea is we're trapped in these bubbles. We only talk to people who think and act just like us. And then we wonder why we don't learn anything. We wonder why we're at each other's throats. I want you to be able to have a civil, educational, edifying conversation with someone you disagree with. Tonight, go outside and look up at the stars. Marcus Aurelius talks about looking up at the stars and imagining himself running with them, being alongside of them. He said this washes off the dust of earthly life. So spend 15 minutes gazing into the sky at night. Look up at the infinity, feel both small and big. because you're connected to it, but also dwarfed by it. And in the light of that, ask yourself, like, what's really important to me? Today, I want you to wear something ridiculous, uncomfortable, things that will draw attention. Cato famously wore the least fancy clothes in Rome. He didn't wear a hat. He often walked barefoot. Part of this was to toughen himself up, but a big part of it was developing an insulation from caring what other people think. And so when all of Rome goes for Julius Caesar, Cato is able to think for himself. He's not caught up in what other people think. He didn't give a crap what other people think. And that's a skill you have to practice. So dress sloppily today. Dress in something ridiculous today. Be able to ignore that. And that's a real skill that will come in. I know it seems silly, but it's a real skill that will benefit you. All right, last one. Today, I want you to do something that scares you. Seneca says we suffer more in imagination than in reality. You've experienced this. You go do something scary and you go, oh, what was I so worked up about? Why was I so worried about that? Right? Do one thing that scares you every day. I think both Emerson and Eleanor Roosevelt said something along these lines. Do one thing every day that scares you. Do the thing you cannot do. That's the challenge today. We have to master fear. For the Stoics, courage is a central virtue for very good reason. So that's your challenge for today. Why should you deliberately seek out challenges? What's the point of a deck like this? I think Epictetus says it. When a challenge confronts you, remember you are being matched with a younger sparring partner. Why? Because becoming an Olympian takes sweat. The Stoics sought out challenges in the gym, in life, creatively, philosophically. They knew that resistance makes us stronger, that iron sharpens iron. So the purpose of this challenge deck is to shore up weaknesses, develop strengths, build yourself into a better person. And you find yourself craving a challenge, seek one out. The idea is you put this on your nightstand, on your desk, in your bathroom mirror, and each day you grab one of these challenge cards, you put it in front of you, and you have to do what it says. No excuses. No running away from it. There's a limit to the time assigned to you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and never return. That's the idea behind the challenge deck. I'm really excited to see you guys post about your challenges. Tell me what was hard. Do it every day. I think there's enough for a month or two of challenges in here. We made this. It's one of our more popular products in the Daily Stoic store. I think you're going to like it. Try it out. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe. But what I really want you to subscribe to is our Daily Stoic email. One bit of Stoic wisdom, totally for free to the largest community of Stoics ever in existence. You can sign up at dailystoic.com/email. There's no spam. You can unsubscribe at any time. I love sending it. I've sent it every day for the last 6 years, and I hope to see you there at dailystoic.com/email.